Good morning, good morning, good morning, my lovely listeners. You are tuned in to The Optimal You, and I am your host and life coach, Renee. And we are going to be having that great discussion with my good friend. He's become my friend now, with Mr. Douglas, right? And we want you to jump on over to the YouTube channel, and I want you to also join us in the on the WhatsApp at 825 343 4486. And we want to discuss something else for the month of October. We want to look at the matter of insurance. Now, some of us might believe that we don't really need insurance, and insurance is for the rich, and so on and so forth. But we're going to debunk some things, and we're going to have some healthy conversation and learn about the importance of insurance. And so I want you to jump on over to the YouTube channel and join me there and join my good friend also, Mr. Douglas. Mr. Douglas, let's bring him up. Good
Good
morning, Mr.
morning, good morning, good morning to you, Madam Minister Renee, and your listeners. A
It's good to
pleasant
have you
good
back
morning to you
again.
all.
So, you know the usual. For those who may be listening for the first time, can you introduce yourself,
All
please?
right, so my name is Marvin Douglas, and I I feel that I am being more obedient these days, so I can call myself an obedient child of God.
Nice.
Yes, and as Minister Renee said, I I am her friend.
Yes, you have become my friend.
I was introduced at church one time as the husband of one wife,
Good.
Khalifa, one wife. That's how I was introduced. I run in with it, right? One
You
wife
better.
and father of two beautiful kids. I am a member of the Liberty for Living Ministries International Family, and by profession, I'm a financial expert. I'm currently the agency manager at Marathon Insurance Brokers. So you can call me your friendly financial advisor.
All right, I like the sound of that. The friendly financial advisor. And he's going to give us some advice today. So, Mr. Douglas, we're looking at something that sometimes is overlooked in Christendom, something that sometimes as believers we think it's not so important or it's not that big of a deal, right? We want to look at the matter of insurance. And I'm going to ask the question, what is insurance and how does it work to protect individuals or those with businesses? Can you talk to us about that, please?
All right. Certainly. As I said, welcome again to all your listeners, and we will be jumping into insurance this morning. As a matter of fact, insurance is you would say, the mainstay. So, what is insurance and how does insurance work really? Now, insurance is really a contract in which you have an individual or a business paying a premium on an interval, whether it be monthly, quarterly, semi annually, or annually, in exchange for a financial institution, in this case, an insurance company, to undertake the risk of losses such as accidents, illnesses, on a wider scale, property damage or liability,
Hmm.
right? So insurance really takes care of economic losses that may come as a result of a particular situation being borne out. And as I said, illnesses, death, accidents, property damage, perils.
Okay.
So, in a nutshell, that is what insurance is. Um, so, as I said, it covers the financial or the economic loss or
Hmm.
fallout.
Hmm.
So, persons, the insured and or their business or their family members don't have to get in a state of sufferation, can I call it that,
Right.
as
Yes,
a
ma'am.
result of these unforeseen circumstances.
Okay. Thank you for that. And because it starts that few minutes later, we have less time, but we want to cover as much as we can cover
Yeah, man,
today.
we will.
Right? So the next question is, what are the key components of an insurance policy that people need to be aware of? Because sometimes people don't want to get into insurance because they don't understand the ins and out of it or the benefits or whatever it is. Can you tell us some components of insurance that people need to be aware of?
All right. So for the benefit of everybody, we are going to do a slightly comparison, and we're going to do a little differentiation. So you have the life insurance, which would include the sickness and health, that's health insurance and critical illness. And on the other hand, you have the general insurance that would include motor and property and business insurance, liability, and all of those, right? So all of them, there are going to be some similarities, and then there are going to be a little peculiarity. So, in terms of similarity, some components that we will all want to consider is the premium. The premium, which is simply the cost for the insurance,
Mm-hmm.
right? We will consider things like the policy limits or the coverage amount. In life insurance, how much do I or my beneficiaries get in the event of this happening, or in the event of a property or a motor? How much am I covered for in the event of a peril or an accident? How much would there, would we benefit? So, and there are what we call exclusions, or in the motor in the health insurance. You talk about your deductible. When just with the motor insurance, you talk about your excess. These are some important things that we will look at. So those are some of the things: policy limits, coverage amounts, exclusions, premiums, and just policy benefits. These are some of the components of insurance that any and everybody would want to consider when thinking about insurance. So, in short, how does all of this affect, and how does all of this benefit me and my family?
So the bottom line is, how does this benefit me and my family? And that we're looking at the financial, the whole, how the insurance itself benefits you and your family, and you also look at as I said, the financial, the coverage, the cost of the premium. Hmm,
Yes.
interesting. But I know, as I said, Christians, it's something that I know a lot of Christians don't think about. But why is it important for people to understand their insurance coverage and the limits and the exclusions and all of that? Why is it important for people to know that? Because I mean, if we take out insurance, we just take out insurance, man. Why do I need to understand all those things? Please enlighten us on that.
So I like to say, let us jump to the end. And why are we, why do you do the things you do? Why do you pray? Why do you worship Jesus? Why do we as Christians do the things we do? Because of the expected end. True. So we have gone to the end, and we're saying, hey, we want to serve God because we want to be there with him in glory. That's the end. Cool. So with insurance, it is the claim. In the event that these things happen, what happens to me? So we just jump to the end. And the meat of the matter is really at the claim. So persons may say, boy, I just get my insurance in terms of even motor insurance. Give me the cheapest thing, because I get it because I want to be legal on the road. But in the event somebody run into their car, and something happens to them, or they run into somebody else's car and or property, and then they hear that, okay, something, your insurance only covered 1 million, but this damage is two. So guess what? The insurance will pay one, and then the person who suffered the damage will then have to sue you for the other one. Or maybe use a nicer figure, the other 5 million. Then what do you do? You turn and you say to me, you turn and you say to the advisor, "Then why you never tell me this from to begin with?" So the limits the limits does matter, and it would be remiss of me if, because sometimes I talk to Christians and they say, "Boy, God am my insurance, you know." But me say, "But God, they tell you in a Proverbs, you know, say a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." So guess what happened now? It's two generations at least down. God, I tell us if you leave an inheritance for in terms of creating generational growth. Your insurance creates that for you. And in terms of your motor insurance or your property insurance, after you would have spent all of this time and energy and your resources in acquiring this nice car that is going to take you and your family from point A to point B, to work and to church and to supermarket and whatever it is, right? It's a heavy investment. It is not properly insured. You have an accident, and then guess what? You're back at square one because you never had proper insurance. So all that you would have worked for over time has pretty much gone to naught.
I don't like how that sound at all. That don't sound good, Mister. That not sound good, Mister Douglas. Because I didn't even think about the fact of the when you said the insurance, the amount is so critical. Honestly, I didn't give thought to that because maybe I would have had the thought like the gentleman or whomever who says, "Oh, you just want to be legal on the road," because that is serious. Because as you said, if the accident you only insured for 1 million and the accident is going to cost five, that means out of pocket. Hello, please.
Yes.
What?
So this is what I would ask you to do, Minister. On your, if you can find your insurance contract, your motor insurance contract, look for it and look for your limits of liability. Or if you can't find your contract, just call your insurance company and ask them, what are my limits of liability? That in short is, if I am supposed to be in an accident, how much does my insurance cover? And then you ask them, whenever whatever they tell you, you ask them, so could that have been increased? And if it could be increased, how much would it cost me to increase it? And you may be like, just that? To move it from 3 million to 5, or from 5 to 10, it will cost me $5,000 or $4,000?
Yeah, but I don't drive. I have a license, but I don't drive. Let's not get into that discussion. So, but what with if a person is saying, but I've been driving for years and I've
Yes.
never had an accident, so why should I go and put myself into financial woes and do that? You know,
Right.
can you
Because
answer that first for me?
you see, you're calculating the risk, and you're looking at what makes sense. You know, we always say we're not going to be penny wise and pound foolish, because you see, there are, let me look at health insurance for argument's sake. A few years ago, probably in about 2020, as a personal situation, my wife, who you'd want to believe is in perfect health, right? The most thing she uses her health card to do is fill a prescription here and there and change her glasses whenever it's supposed to change, and we'll clean her teeth and whatever the case may be. And I am thinking, all right, cool, but we're paying this amount for health insurance every month. And on one Friday, she wasn't feeling so well. I go for her for at work. Next thing you know, by that night, we are up by University Hospital. Within a few days, she's in surgery. All right. How much does this cost? A couple $100,000. All right. And the health insurance was there. And then the hospital say, all right, cool, based on your health insurance, you can pay us, I think, 27,000. You see, when these things happen, they're not planned for. So if I didn't have health insurance or proper health insurance in place, then as opposed to 20,000, I may have had to come up with probably about almost $500,000. Yes. So based on the amount that I would have been paying over the past years, have I paid that $500,000 in premium as yet? What is the likelihood that I may have to do something? You see, we meet in accidents most of the times not because of our negligence,
But that of others, right?
because of others, and sometimes we meet in accident because of our own mistake, and something may
Mm.
happen to us. Yes, and as it suggests, it is an accident. And in the case of life insurance, I don't know about anybody else, but I am very sure that I am aware that it was appointed to all of us once to die. So regardless of what we want to think about it,
Mhm.
when it's our time, we can ask like our goodly friend in the Bible here and beg God for 15 more years or 20 more years and whatever it is. And it may
Betty.
very well be granted, but rest assured at some point in time it will come. What happens
That's
to your
it.
family then?
Yeah.
How does your family experience generational growth? What is the inheritance that you would have left for your children or your children's children or just your family? And when one of these days we will talk about business insurance or life insurance works in business.
But let me say, Mr. Tomlin, Mr. Tomlinson, Mr. Douglas.
Mhm.
Um, we know that your company offers insurance, different types of insurance.
Yes.
Um, how can somebody, if they want to get any insurance at all, how can they contact you to get that?
All
Can you
right.
give us again, please?
So I am going to, because whether it be my phone number, my email, which I'm going to give now, once they reach out to me, we are able to provide any and every forms of insurance that is available in Jamaica land we love. Again, my contact number is 876-507-2933. That's 876-507-2933. Or I can be contacted via email at marvin_douglas at mibja.com. That's Marvin, MARVIN underscore Douglas, DOUGLAS at mibja.com. Right? I can be contacted there, and then we would be able to take care of literally any and everything that you want insured, from the most valuable asset yourself to to probably your most one of your most prized asset, your property. But we are able to take care of it all.
All right. So thank you for that information. But let me ask you, based on your experience, I know we want to talk about Christendom now. Based on
Mhm.
your experience,
Yes.
what are some common misconceptions about insurance that you often encounter? So this is where you get the chance to talk, and this is the last question for today.
Yes.
What are some common misconceptions about insurance that you often encounter in Christendom?
Insurance is too expensive. I don't need insurance because nothing not going to happen to me. Or one that I said earlier, I only get in the little insurance because I need to be legal on the road. I'm not doing anything illegal. Right? And I am saying to you, it is none of these are valid reasons. Insurance is not necessarily too expensive. It's a misconception. Once, just like budgeting, when you speak to your advisor, when we have the conversation, we will be able to work out something. Something is usually tailored that fits you. Yes. Nothing bad is ever going to happen. No, man. We get up every day and we pray and we say things. But guess what? we understand that we are living in the natural here and things happen, right? God in his sovereignty can say, all right, you go good. But guess what happened now? You see us having, you see accidents happening, people getting ill. If you're looking in your church, how many of the wonderful saints in your church become sick from time to time, or they become ill, or whatever it is. They're not going to stay there, but they ensure that they have their insurance to take care of their things. It is prudent. It's a prudent thing to do. It is important for us to do insurance. I'm debunking it is not too expensive, and I'm debunking it is unnecessary. It is necessary, yes. And guess what? We are here to work with you to get you not only the best coverage, but at the best price, right? And exactly what you need.
Because we know in Jamaica, Brother Marvin, that things there, for the
Yes,
benefit
man.
of
Things
those
there,
who don't
man.
understand the term things there, things are expensive, right? So we know that things are expensive. And so when we think about taking on one more expense, people are saying, "Oh Lord, do we?" Nobody's not dying right now. Nobody's dying. We've been. You see, my family generation, we live to see 90. So I'm going to think that it is going to continue. We all going to live to see 90. So we're not taking on no insurance.
You know, one of the things that we remember, one of our first topics would have been budgeting. When you create your budget, guess one of the things that you put in your budget? Your insurance. So we have it as a line item in your budget to ensure that you use a few cents of your dollar to ensure that your family is taken care of, to ensure that you can operate with the peace, not the one that passes all understanding, the peace that when all right, but we also have that other peace, right?
All
Yes.
right. Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas, for today. We really learned a bit about insurance. And the first thing you said is that insurance is the protection of your family and your property, coverage
Yes.
of your family and your property. So it's not just, oh, insurance for nothing at all, but you're thinking about the protection of your property and your family. Anything can happen, any card can play, as we say in Jamaica. So anything can happen. So you need to make necessary provisions. We look forward to next week when we get further into the whole matter of insurance, because I think it's something that's very important that as a Christian people, a lot of times we don't take time to
Yes.
pay attention to. Thank you, Mr. Douglas. We'll do it again next week, God's willing, and all things being equal.
And thank you for having me as usual. For any of your listeners who may be thinking that they have a question or something that they want to ask, the consultation is so much free. Call and you can get the information. I don't charge you for the consultation.
Did you hear that, people? There is no charge. When you hear free, you jump and you run. So it is free. So you can speak to Mr. Douglas to get all the information you need in case you have any, concerns or you're not sure, you're doubting. You can speak to him. He's at Marathon Insurance. If you don't get information, feel free to reach out to us at HGG and we will be glad to get it to you. Don't let this opportunity pass. It is what? FREE. Let's get that clear. Thank you, Mr. Douglas.
All
Blessing
right.
God. You have a wonderful
Have
day.
a blessed one.
Bye, sir. People. Did you hear that? No, some of you who have not been thinking about insurance, I trust that you are now thinking about it and know that it's something that you need to do. You are listening to the program, The Optimal You, with your host and life coach, Renee. Let's get back over to studio. It's time to listen to the wonderful radio drama, The Bus Stop Crew. Guys, get insurance. It's a good thing. It's coverage for yourself and your property. It's been great having you. Bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye.